So this is my elementary school. It's called People's Elementary School. And so this is where I really spent a lot of my formative childhood years. There's the gym over there. So I just got word that my elementary school is closing and that this will be the final year. I'm not quite sure I know how I feel about it yet, but I'm going to take you guys with me. It's about 6:38 in the morning, and I'm about to take you guys over there. Hopefully I don't get arrested. Okay, so before I can talk about the elementary school, I got to talk to you guys about this 7-Eleven. And so we would walk all of the way, it's about a mile from that way, and we would cross. There used to be like a crossing guard right here, and we would cross the street, and then we would come here before we would go to school. And so in this 7-Eleven, they would have, well, they still have them, the little breakfast sandwiches and hot dogs. So imagine me like in second grade, whenever my mom would give us some money, we would go in here at like 6:55 in the morning and get some breakfast sandwiches. And I just remember it being so delicious. They also had hot dogs. So imagine at 6:50 in the morning, I'm eating a chili cheese hot dog right here. And so if we got here, we would already be close to the school over there. So I'm about to show you. So this is my elementary school. It's called People's Elementary School. And so this is where I really spent a lot of my formative childhood years. There's the gym over there. So this is the neighborhood my elementary school was in. And this is it. So every morning we would come across from over there, stop by at the 7-Eleven that I showed you earlier, and walk over here, and then sometimes still get breakfast. But one of the main reasons that I always made it a point to be on time to school, I would take me and my little brother to school, and we would, I was sure I would get breakfast in the morning, and so that's one of the reasons I would come here. And so this is it right here. This was the elementary school. This is the elementary school that I grew up with, where I grew up in, People's Elementary here in Killeen, Texas. And I guess I found out that they were closing it, and I just really couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that I had gotten to an age where a school that I went to would close. And so I feel a lot of mixed emotions because you don't realize the type of space a building takes up in your mind. And I guess it's not really the building itself, it's the memories that happened to me and the things that happened to me while I was in this building. And so I would always see people crying about school closure. I was like, that doesn't even make any sense. But it's like now, at 29 years old, it makes sense to me. And so I wanted to take you guys with me to show you kind of like some places within the school. I mean, this was the school that really received me when I came to America at 3 and 4 years old. There's actually, I started at another school, but then this one was closer to my house. And so, it's just one of those things that I just want to show you. So come with me. You can't really see it here now, but there used to be like 2 gigantic portables right here. And actually there used to be more portables over there too. Oh my God, they took them down. Well, anyway, there used to be about two portables here. If you don't know what a portable is, it's when a school is overcrowded, and they basically create a additional classroom. It looks like a little house. Wow, it's actually gone over there too. So anyway, because and this is the truth, I was in special ed and I was bilingual. And so I spoke English and Spanish, and I had undiagnosed ADHD at the time. So they would put you in special ed. They probably still do that to this day. Which, I didn't complain about being in special ed because it was just a group of us kids that just had harder time learning in this systematic way, in this system. I actually like to learn and read, but just not through the school system. And so they would take us every morning. We would have class and all of that, and they would bring us through here and enter us through the portables. And then I'll never forget, and God bless that lady wherever she's at. Her name was, all I remember, her last name was Notestein. And she was my special ed teacher. And she's probably the reason why I like white girls to this day. But she was so kind, so sweet, and just so wanting to help. I remember her husband at the time was like a lieutenant in the Army. And he actually came one time, so nice as well. And as I look back on it, I just believe that kindness is a technology, that people remember it years after it happens. And it's like Maya Angelou says, people may forget what you say, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And she made me feel nurtured and cared for, like I wasn't alone. And so in all of my endeavors in life, I've always tried to project that and try and help people the best way that I could. Sometimes I didn't want to be helped, but I can trace it back to this moment, me coming out of the portables. Because my classroom was like in here somewhere, and I would go outside and we would go and take lessons. And so yeah, and that's where I would do recess. Here's the thing about recess: they only gave us like 5 or 6, 7 minutes. And a few years I actually came back here to substitute, and it was like they only had like 15. I think it was like 15 minutes. But damn, man, it never felt like enough. I think kids need to go out there and play. Think about it: 7 hours sitting down in a classroom. You only get 15 minutes for recess. That don't make sense anywhere. That does not make sense. So then this right here was obviously the gym, but there used to be 2 portables out here for music class. I'll never forget my music teacher all through elementary school, and I think it's probably still the same today, was Mr. Burkhalter. And funny enough, a few years ago I came in here and substituted, and I told him that he was my music teacher. He came and hugged me, man, and man, he was a good guy. I liked him. And I never got in trouble in his class. And then I remember when I was a kid, they used to have this program. It used to be called TOT for Tots or something like that, where it was basically where they showed us how to do basketball tricks. Like, then they didn't show us how to play basketball. They just showed us how to do tricks, right? And I remember Coach Puff and Coach Landrum, maybe they're one and the same, Coach Brown and Coach Landrum. And I remember we would have it. I didn't do it long because we would go out and do stuff, and we would always come back late at night. And I don't remember, but my mom would be at work already because my mom worked nights, and I didn't have a way to they wouldn't let you, if you're like 9 years old, to walk home late at night by yourself. So I only did it once. And basically, man, when you're a teacher, but before I go there, it was so beautiful to me to really just go and experience that, learning how to do skills, and it was a really beautiful time. Let me tell you something. I didn't go to school in like the richest neighborhood or the poorest neighborhood, but I do feel like I was surrounded by teachers that, had light in them. I'll never forget, like, I remember there used to be another portable over there, and there used to be this lady named Miss Venegas, and she was an aide. And I'm looking back on it, I'm not sure if she just felt bad for me, but every morning, almost every day, I would eat her lunch. I would be like, Miss Venegas. And she would have some of these like delicious sandwiches that she would make. And she said, it's okay, Gabriel. You can eat it. And I remember she would have Twinkies, sandwiches, a juice. And man, that was just so kind of her. So kind of her. I mean, I wasn't hungry or anything like that, but like I would eat it. And finally she was like, Gabriel, I gotta eat my lunch. And so I'm really thankful for her. Her name was Miss Venegas. And she was very kind. Now, I'm going to tell you about I call her name is her name is Miss Baristecki. Let me tell you guys about Miss Baristecki. I was a bad little boy. I don't think I was bad. I think I was just, childhood stuff and all of these things. And I'll never forget when it was parent-teacher day, right? And I was a bad kid. I mean, when I say bad, I mean colloquially, like I didn't do what I was supposed to in school. And I'll never forget that there was a parent-teacher conference, and my dad came. And my dad was this military drill sergeant. I know he would get mad if he heard me say it, but it's just the truth. He would bring the beat down, if you know what I mean. And he came to the parent-teacher conference, and I was scared to death. And here is Miss Baristecki, with all of her kindness and wisdom, looks at my father. And, I was having issues reading and, doing other things, but I'll never forget that she was the first teacher where I was present, okay, where she spoke kindly about me to my father. And I'll never forget, she said, Gabriel is very, very smart. If he could just learn to read, he would set the world on fire. And it was the first time that someone had ever said anything nice to me in front of my father. And as life would have it, years later, I would end up selling her house. Who would have thought? Full circle moment. But something that I admired about Miss Baristecki back then was she had like this way of like connecting with children. And see, children always know who the real ones are, who the real people are, and who the bad people are. And I think she was such a good teacher because she had never let the child within her die. And kids can kind of sense that. Not to say that, we were a good class or, everything went off without a hitch, but people just happen to know. And again, I think kindness. So, yeah. So, in conclusion, I think that in life, we are given the responsibility to learn lessons in life. And maybe I didn't have the best childhood. Maybe I didn't have, a lot of the things that I wish now that I would have had. But consciously. I'm grateful for the lessons that I learned. And here's the thing, people don't learn by what you tell them. People learn by what you show them. And so you have to live the lesson. And you have to live the lesson. You have to live kindness. You have to live forgiveness. You have to live redemption. Because at the end of the day, we are not the worst things we've ever done. And I also think it's our responsibility to make this world a better place in whatever capacity you can. Maybe some of you, that's being the best parent you can be. Maybe for some of you, that's running the best business you can, that helps people or, gives a great product. What if we're all just here to make this world a better place? More conscious, more kind, more happy, more joyful. And that's what I hope to do for the rest of my life. So thank you guys for watching this video and allowing me to tell a little bit about my childhood. I didn't plan on doing this today, but I just kind of went where the energy flowed. And so thank you guys for watching. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. Let me know what you thought about the video. And I love you guys. Peace.